Live 2 days after WrestleMania. I'll say this, it wasn't completely boring and 100% trash. Doesn't mean it was a great show. I got a couple of surprises. I knew this was stupid moment. And I got a very good match. Along with another very good match. Doesn't mean they were 5-star, it just means they were good matches. Let's open the show with what we found out. Daniel Bryan is no longer a general manager. As I said, either he was going to be a general manager and maybe do pay-per-view matches, or he would let go of the general manager position and then become a wrestler on Raw. I don't think he's going to do Smackdown Live. I really feel like he may go to Raw. That's what I thought before. And I'm still sticking to that until after the draft happens. I'm not calling it a superstar shakeup. It sounds better as the draft. It just does. Now we also have Paige replacing Daniel Bryan as general manager. You guys tell me below, doesn't Paige look off? Now for me personally, growing up in a house with chain smokers and 2 alcoholics, and mind you, I don't drink, I don't smoke, I'm very boring. Maybe one of the reasons why I look decently young for my age. But, sorry for the noise. But when I look at Paige, she looks like she's aged. She's not 25 years old now. She looks like she's in her mid-30s. When a person drinks, sometimes their face really gets filled out and puffy and they look older. She looks like she hasn't been exercising either. She doesn't look like she's in good shape. I could be 100% wrong, but I'd like to know your point of view on this because, honestly, I am worried about Paige because I think she is heavily drinking. I really do believe she is. And I'm hoping I'm wrong. But it is good to see that she is doing something for the company. But admittedly, she needs to grow into this because she tried to really hype the crowd and it didn't really work that well. I think she needs to learn timing when it comes to now being a general manager compared to being a regular manager. It's a completely different animal from managing someone to make believe that you're managing the entire show. You have to interact with people and do things differently. So I'm not surprised she seemed to really not have the timing down. So let's leave it at that. Usos versus New Day. I don't remember correctly, but you guys tell me below. When there's a triple threat for a tag belt or anything, do the guys lose their rematch clause? How did they lose their rematch clause? I could be wrong. But the Usos had to be in a match with New Day because Paige made this match. It was a good match. It was. It's one of the things I've always loved about Smackdown Live. The Usos and New Day's, they got great chemistry together. They both can talk great when they're allowed to talk. So the Usos win. But I wish they had not had the job at WrestleMania. It should have been the Usos versus the New Day without the Bludgeon Brothers. And then they came out at the end of the show, well, end of that match. And it just didn't feel like much. You know why? Because again, I keep saying, you gotta have one of these guys talk once in a while. Luke needs to say something. One word to really epitomize what they're doing. Luke, Eric, champions. That's all we need. Something, because I am completely bored with them. I was hoping they'd give me something. I was hoping Luke, who's the better talker between him and Eric, would give me something. Nope. This is what we got. Bored. I'm bored. Now, Naomi versus Natalya. I want to ask guys and girls questions. Why do people keep calling her Naomi? She even pronounced her own name herself. Naomi Knight. When she was in NXT. Why do people keep changing the way they pronounce her name? I don't get it. I don't. She never says Naomi Knight or Naomi. Everyone says Naomi or Naomi. Why? I don't get it. I pronounce it as the person says it. Not the way I want it to be sounded out. Not because it's a black name. It's because of how it's said by the black person. I pronounce my name the way my mother pronounced it. My real name. I don't go by the Spanish version of it. So it's just, huh? But was the match okay? Yes, it was, and Naomi won, which makes me still very happy. But it does make me wonder, is she going to Raw? She's got a lot of backing now. People really are interested in her. Look how things have changed for her. She went from barely being noticed and always jobbing to being a 2-time women's champion, even though she had to relinquish the title because of injury. She's a 2-time champion, which I wish they would say it. She did that Orlando, Florida, what was it? That contest to go to Orlando, Florida and spend the day with her and John, her actual husband. She now did a movie. She now won the Battle Royal, which could still mean nothing. But she's getting a lot of leeway. So it's a good possibility she's heading back to Raw and be sponsored there. That's a good possibility it will happen. And if they have that happen, the match that I really would like to see, if it does happen, won't mean anything. And that will be Naomi versus Mickie James. I really want to see Naomi versus a well-built Mickie James who can really teach her something. But nope. The way Mickie James is a bitch. She's been jobbed out beyond anything. She probably bent her ass over and then everybody stuck there. You know what's up her. That's how she looks. A bitch. And that's sad because if Naomi goes there and if she does have a match against her, it's going to mean nothing. Let's move on. I'm getting this over with right now because there's no need to drag it out. The Charlotte segment. I didn't care about what Charlotte said. Because in the end, as I said in my WrestleMania review, what did she actually gain by winning over Asuka and getting her streak? This isn't about her. This was about her daddy's legacy, not hers. I didn't see anything of Charlotte at WrestleMania. No matter how many times people say she did a great job, she didn't. She cut her ass open. She hurt herself. So then we get the Iconics. Peyton Roy and Billy Kay. I'm saying Kane. Billy Kay. I do remember them. I did like them. And always thought, what was it? Billy Kay. Peyton Royce. I believe it was her. The one that was on the right. You probably see her there. The one on the right. This right. If I'm right. I always thought she was the better looking of the two. Not saying neither one of them were ugly. They're both good looking Australian women. And they both talk very well. And they played to the crowd. And the crowd pretty much flipped on Charlotte pretty quickly. I wasn't arguing about that. Because they really were kind of telling the truth. What did Charlotte really do last night? The only thing she didn't say was Asuka's name. And that was Peyton Royce and Billy Kay. They didn't say Asuka's name because they're not over there. And she's not there, so it sounded really legitimate. And then they did the freaking beatdown on her ass, which I was perfectly fine with. Until she started acting really limp. And they threw her into the ring. When Peyton Royce and Billy Kay were trying to get her into the ring, she literally acted limp. Too limp. There's certain points in your performance that you gotta be a little careful with your partners that are doing with it. In this situation, you don't act way too limp at the wrong time. You can see it in my face. What was the point of acting completely limp there? There was no point in it. They were struggling with her and they didn't need to struggle. It just showed how bad they were. They should be struggling with her in the ring, not getting into the ring. I'm telling you guys. And still, no one has said she sucks. But no one said she's good either. Tell me why she sucks. Tell me why she's great. As far as I can tell, Charlotte sucks badly. Unfortunately, I can't say anything to the Lex-Man right now because I'm doing this review. By the time I'm done, he will already pass by what I'm talking about. But in the end, this isn't about them. This isn't about Charlotte. This is about Carmella finally cashing in. And what was going on with Mike Chioda? Why was he acting like he had Alzheimer's? Like, it's in my face. And he's telling her, and she's telling him, take it. I want to do it. Take it. What's wrong with you? Take it. And it's like he didn't process it. Unless he actually had an Alzheimer's moment. That made no sense why he was pausing for so freaking long like he didn't get it. It made him look stupid, and it took away from this moment for Carmella. Carmella won the title. After it was done, she was parading around, which was all right. Went up the ramp, went down the ramp. But here's the thing that got me. Charlotte, after she lost that title, acted nonchalant. That shows you how someone doesn't sell very well. She should be acting angry. She didn't even have a look of anger on her face. And I know people are going to say, oh, that's just because she knew she'll get a back of entry. No! She just got screwed over by attacked by Peyton Royce and Billie Kay. And then she had got cashed in on. She had perfect right to be angry. Perfect right to be frustrated at that beginning of that little part that she did. No, she acted completely nonchalant, like, no problem. You got it, no problem. Why? It was not necessary. It was dumb. What a waste. What a waste. Really. Now here's a match I don't understand. Rusev versus Orton. Why did we go with Orton again? Why not Rusev? I understand with Rude, there's no point for Rude to go after the title again. He just needs to turn heel. But then you look at Rusev, who badly needs to turn. You look at Rusev. He should already be face. The crowd is cheering for him constantly. The crowd is cheering him just as badly as they want to cheer for Ty Dillinger. The Perfect 10. I'm not a Ty Dillinger fan. But if I was the one running Smackdown Live, I would say, dude, stop it. We need to put Ty on screen. The people want him. He's selling merch. Put him on television. Put him on there. It doesn't matter if we like him or not. It doesn't matter if he looks good or not. If he's selling merch, if he's bringing people into the arenas, then we need to put him on television. Now, if he wasn't, that's another thing entirely. But people are cheering for Rusev. I want to understand, the Rusev Day t-shirts are selling. People want him. But no, they won't go there. And they'd rather see Jinder Mahal go up against Randy Orton again. See it like this. And I got to make this very clear to all the subscribers who hate Jinder Mahal. I'm not saying to love the man. I'm saying lie to the WWE. Lie. You can hate his fucking guts. I personally don't care if you like him or hate him. The only time I've ever said anything is that he's a jobber. He needs a chance like every other jobber should be thrown in the main title scene and given a chance. I don't care if you fucking hate the guy beyond recognition. Call him Balls Mahoney off social media. But on with social media to the WWE, say that he's a credible threat to Rusev. Freaking lie. If they need to hear that people want to see Jinder go up against Rusev and that Jinder is a credible threat, you better freaking lie and do it. For any of the subscribers I have that refuse to do that, then you don't care about Rusev. And I hear so many people say they love Rusev. Then lie about Jinder Mahal being a piece of shit and then let it happen. That's if it happens. And I'm not saying this because I hate my subscribers. I'm saying this because we have a great face that people want. And if the WWE is watching social media and hearing people calling people are calling him Balls Mahoney, he's stupid, they're going to do what we don't want. Have you ever heard of reverse psychology? Please. I don't care if you hate the guy off social media. But on social media, say you want to see him go up against Rusev. So we'll get the U.S. title on his waist. And as a face, and that's another thing, tell him that you want him as a face and scream it and keep screaming it and keep screaming it until they get it. Then maybe we'll get it. Because we're stuck like this. It's ridiculous. But it's just ridiculous. Shinsuke Nakamura and AJ Styles had a few minutes to talk. Nakamura pretty much said, I knew Nakamura could probably speak English. And he talked very well. And at the end, talking with Renee Young, he said, no, speak English. When she kept asking, you're acting really bad and disrespectful. Can you explain it? No, speak English. Nice. I'll admit that was nice. It was simple and to the point. Whoever's writing at least this part did it right. Don't make him talk much. Not because he can't talk English, but he doesn't need to talk much. Just insightful, direct, and to the point. As long as he does it well enough. But still, there will be points, and I'm saying it right now, that he's going to have to do a longer segment than a few words. Eventually. So I am hoping he can speak English very well. So whenever he does have to speak English, in a lengthy time, he can handle it. Finally, AJ versus Daniel Bryan, which I know everyone is excited beyond recognition that this happened. I'm sure the Lex Man is all jumping for joy. I'll say this, it was a good match. It was just as good as the match with him and Nakamura, and I'm talking about AJ. I know a lot of people didn't like the match, they said it was flat. I'm not caring about what the crowd did. I saw it for what it was. A very good technical match. A good one. I didn't say it was a 5-star match. It was a good technical match, the best of that night. Whether people like it or not, because it doesn't have the flips and the kicks, that's up to them. I like it when someone mixes it up, where it's mostly ground, mostly aerial, mostly submission, not almost everything jump spots, a little bit of ground, and a little bit of submission. You don't get anything like that. It gets boring after a while. And I get bored very easily when it's more aerial than it is ground or trying to submit someone or try to really wrestle them. You gotta have a balance. I like an easy balance most of the time, unless it's something really special. Then you can go all out and do all the kicks and all the flips. When it's to every time, you don't look special. Well, the match was good. Decently balanced. And then Nakamura comes and knocks the head off of both of them. Here's a question. What happens next week? If Daniel Bryan is not going to Raw, they can expand on this with Nakamura and AJ and him. So that's going to be a good thing there. I don't know what's going to happen with Naomi. Don't know what's going to happen with New Day or the Usos. There's a good possibility they will transfer the Usos over to Raw. Maybe they'll throw the Authors of Pain onto SmackDown Live. That would be a decent place for them to go. But I really wish Paul Ellery was with them. And I'll say this. I did find out that Paul Ellery cannot really travel very much because of his age. I understand it. I said at WrestleMania, if he did sign off on this, it was wrong. And honestly, it is kind of wrong for him not to travel. It is. But it's understandable. He is in his mid to late 60s. And if he can't handle the grind, you can't force the guy to do it. But it's just sad to see. They need a manager. Now, maybe they'll get one if they go to Raw, stay on Raw, or if they go to SmackDown Live. They really need someone there for them right now. It's just the truth. I kind of wish Paul had traveled just a little bit with them for at least a couple of weeks to a month. 1 month of traveling. Oh, that would have been alright. 1 month. Get extra pay, and after that he can go. They really need him. But this is my point of view. You guys tell me below. Have a good day. Have a good night. Peace.